Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Melos Machina. Welcome to episode 9. I hope you are having a fantastic evening and you are ready to jump on in to tonight's episode. We are back again to see what is going to happen with our party here at the table. How y'all feeling tonight?
So good.
The birds are gone.
Why do you keep leaving us with these cliffhangers about the monsters blank?
The spiders are everywhere.
The birds are
gone.
I'd like a medium amount of animals.
Yeah, just the regular amount.
Regular amount.
And next week, and the wolves are average.
I'm in for that.
You know what? Good for them.
The
Give
pack
me the
is
average
sleeping.
wolves.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Well, I suppose with that, are you all ready to dive into tonight's episode?
As ready as
Betcha.
I'll ever be.
All right. So, when last we met our heroes, they had slept well in the inn in Riversmeet, having indeed a good night's rest. Having been awoken by a strange message, then continuing on throughout the day, first to investigate what Dr. Sada had discovered. But unfortunately, Dr. Sada was apparently busy. At least so her notes said. The others heading to the docks to see about this new business opportunity. Beforehand, however, fixing up the cart that had been returned to make a little bit of extra change and hopefully some goodwill towards the shopkeep. Having spoken to Marius and discovering more details about the potential upriver or downstream job
Oh, gosh.
to uncover the 2 cases that had been lost from the Fairbanks for the overseer of the town. The party being lent a large boat and ferrying their way with the help of Chauncey, made their way to the edge of what was deemed potentially dangerous territory and having an excursion underwater with the help of a breathing apparatus. Having walked across the bottom and rowed across the top, eventually, Duathi, under the water, saw the glint of something metal farther down the river. But unfortunately, the party had come to the edge of what they had been told was safe. Duathi being brought back up onto the boat, you were all discussing specifically what to do next. And as you were contemplating and checking in, you had realized that the birds had indeed gone quiet. Now that you are here, you take in the rushing of the river that at this size is less of a rush and more of just a gentle movement. The sound of the water lapping against the sides of your boat. A breeze rushes by and you hear the leaves bristling. Still eerily silent, as you hear no wildlife whatsoever.
I immediately have a question for you, Dungeon Master, which is, were there animals before? Or was I just underwater?
You having been just underwater, you remember seeing a collection of fish swimming about, but nothing struck you as being a incredible amount of wildlife.
Okay.
And at this point through your adventures, the sounds of the wildlife in the background have blended into the natural surroundings. You recall them being there. And you thinking back makes you realize just how different it is now that there are no sounds.
Okay. So, as much as I am for, I'm going to do, I'm whispering, but I don't want to actually whisper. So, here's the thing. I'm all for going to go get this box because it seems like it's very important to what you are doing. But also, maybe like it maybe might be kind of a silly thing. So, I don't know what to do.
Well, clearly, shit's weird. So, I think we proceed with the mission,
Okay.
but we may need to pull you up quick.
Okay.
How far was?
About 100, 200 feet ahead, right?
At least 100 from your estimation, yes.
At least 100 feet ahead of where we are.
So let's keep you up here for a bit. Progress slow again,
Right.
Okay.
and then send you back down.
Okay. I'm going to look for on the boat where I put my stick. I'm going to leave my shield down for now, but I'm going to grab my stick and every few minutes just tap it.
Okay. So as you sit here, tapping it for the first time as the spikes of thorns at the top of your staff.
I'll keep hold of the rudder, and maybe can we have Chauncey continue slowly?
Sure. I direct Chauncey to do so.
As Chauncey hears your call, just slowly backing up. At this point, using the force of the river itself to just keep bringing you farther and farther back. Slowly but surely, the thick tree line comes and passes. You find yourselves looking on either side, though ahead of you or now behind you. Where you are facing, you see the open fields and the splotches of trees. It's as if a wall of thick foliage begins to encase you.
I'd like to kind of extend my perception. You know when a storm is about to happen and like the air feels almost electric? I'd kind of like to just gauge what the air feels like.
Sure. Give me a perception check.
21.
21. The air, as you've moved in, it is stiller than it was out beyond the tree line. There was a gentle breeze that had been accompanying you, though not a constant flowing of air. But now within the trees, it seems as though that has been cut off, or you are now protected from it. Though the air is still, there is no immediate feel of static or unease from it.
Okay.
Does the river seem to be narrowing at all as we progress through the trees? Is there any increase in the flow of water, signifying that we might be heading towards rougher terrain ahead?
Doesn't appear to be. It seems to be along the same gentle, constant flow. The only major change is this, as you look about, is this sudden sense of towering above you. For you two, it in some ways feels, well, for the three of you actually, it feels very familiar.
Like a street.
Almost as if you are within the streets of Saros Manor.
Right.
But instead of concrete and metal, trees.
Is this a problem, the birds? The quiet?
Well,
It's not normal.
usually, when you are listening for things, if all the other animals disappear, it's usually for a reason.
Any chance it was just the noise of Chauncey trudging through the shoreline?
Possible.
Right.
Not probable, but possible.
Well, we knew we were venturing into unbeknownst worlds, so
Right.
everyone buck up, keep your wits about you, head on a swivel, and holler if you see anything problematic. But we do have, at least, according to Dorothy, our goal in sight, so let us lead with that intention, all right?
Yeah.
I'm going to go to the prow of the boat and sit crisscross applesauce, and I'm going to start very quietly under my breath, just chanting in Druidic
Okay.
and looking.
Give me a perception.
And as we, if you don't mind, GM, as we approach the area in which Dorothy directed, about approximately where the chest might be underwater, I want to start ritually casting Detect Magic, just in case there is anything above surface or below inside those chests that I might need to alert anybody of.
Absolutely.
It's a 10-minute ritual cast, which I imagine for 100 feet to progress at the slow pace that Chauncey's taking. I'd like to time it so that once we reach the area, I'll be able to get anything within 30 feet of me.
Absolutely. So at the pace that Chauncey is going, the 100 feet comes fairly quickly, with under a minute's time.
Gotcha.
I can do it a little faster, Aaron, if you need.
Yes, go ahead. I would prefer to know as much as we can before we send Dorothy down below again.
I agree.
All right, using my spell book, I'll hold it and it just glows with a soft charge as that ritual is cast in an instant.
Wow. And what is the, let's see here, lasts for 10 minutes?
Yeah, I got it. It's within 30 feet, so
Okay.
you might not see quite to the bottom, hopefully.
Okay.
It's only blocked by stone, metal, lead, or dirt.
Perfect. As your arcane senses expand with your magic, you immediately get senses of magic coming off of the entirety of the party.
Right. Expected that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oops, all spellcasters.
But there is a moment of curiosity as you look at the contraption of the breathing apparatus that has been lent to you. It is entirely mundane. No magic emanating from it.
Right. Interesting.
As you peer beneath as to where you anticipate this chest to be, no magic.
Right.
And as you look about, Dorothy, what was your perception?
A 14.
14. Dorothy, sitting on the bow of the boat, chanting, you look across and you look past all of your companions as Finn is looking about, checking for magic. You see debris on the shore, the same shoreline that Chauncey is on, but farther down. You see pieces of wood and lumber that seem to have washed ashore, and a small crate. This one, not in any similar description to the ones that you're searching for, but a much more simple box that looks like it may contain something within.
About how far ahead?
It was maybe 60 feet down on the shoreline.
Well, good news. If this one isn't what we're looking for, I don't think that one is either, but no harm in looking, I suppose.
Totally.
Right, yes, better probably to investigate the shore before we go under.
Perhaps.
I think we should, honestly, I think we should get this one now.
Right.
We are
Yeah.
here.
I agree.
Agreed.
I'll, because we're by the shoreline, right?
At this point, you're there's about 15 feet between you and the shore,
Okay.
with Icon keeping the boat away using the current of the river.
Okay.
I could bring us in closer.
Just pull ourselves
Sure.
in,
Yeah, I'll
perhaps.
just
Yes.
kind of direct gently so we're not
Absolutely.
or capsize.
At that point, the boat just slowly drifts towards the bank, and very gently, just you hear the rocks and pebbles give way as the side of the boat has run aground, but in a controlled manner.
I'll get off and grab or walk up and grab the crate.
Sure. So hopping off the boat and walking along now here on the shoreline, the tree line is not as dense immediately on the shore. There is some space between the river, you, and the trees. You walk on over and you can see on this beach of gravel and stone and mud, bits of debris, pieces of destroyed planks. And you find the crate. It's not very large, probably about 3 feet by 3 feet. It's a perfectly square crate. Mostly intact, definitely waterlogged, and as you go to lift it, you can feel the weight of it as it has taken in a lot of water. Some of the edges have been worn smooth, either from tumbling across the bottom of the river or taking some hits from something. But it is still sealed. You can see nails on all of the corners keeping it closed.
Is it that the wood has soaked up the water, or is it inside the crate there's a bunch of water?
From the outside, it's really difficult to tell.
Okay. Because I was like, can I poke it with one of my tools and let
Sure.
out the water?
You could absolutely try.
Cool.
Yeah. So, what are you gonna poke it with?
I don't know. I have lots of tools. With maybe wood carver's tools.
Like a pry bar or something?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could use thieves' tools and just open it up. It's not one of the more private ones, so.
Well, and so with this one, you imagine a hammer and your wood
Okay.
carver's tools would easily. You'd have what you would
Okay,
need
cool.
to pry this open. So you take one of your hammers and smack it into the side. You are able to essentially use it as a crowbar.
Okay.
Give me a really quick strength check.
Okay. Don't think I add anything to that. No. Oh, that was a 5.
5. All you are doing is removing nails. As you pry it, they just pink come open, and it as water kind of sloshes out, and you see inside waterlogged grain.
Oh. All right. I think we could maybe leave this one.
No magic in the grain.
As you look, it's slightly out of your range, but from here it just appears to be grain.
All right.
Cool. Can I sort through it a little bit just to check that there's nothing
please
in
make
there?
sure there's nothing in there.
Absolutely. Yeah, give me an investigation.
Okay.
As
No.
Andy,
just to be
seeing all the
safe.
grain pour out, immediately begins to take her hands and, using your claws, kind of sift through and see what you can't find.
Just getting pollo ceremony.
That's a 16.
16. It is wet, and it is, in some cases, kind
Which
of a
I
little
love.
gooey.
Great.
And as you sift through, you pull your waterlogged and now grain-coated hands out. There doesn't seem to be anything else in it.
Cool. Yeah, it's clear. And I hate this. I just dip my hands in the water.
I'm going to come back and take off the blankets and begin going back towards the breathing apparatus and
Okay.
getting ready to go.
Yeah, the breathing apparatus at this point is right by you on the bow.
I'm feeling a little bit anxious about this, so maybe should go and get it done.
Okay.
Does it, the box down there, do you think that you can bring it up?
I think I can try.
Let's take another rope down there.
I think
Yeah.
that is probably for the best.
I can also stay on the shore in case it's easier to bring it up here and then put it on the boat. Just if the boat's not
Maybe-
stable enough to just bring something that heavy up. I don't know.
Do you want to run the breathing apparatus and I stay on
Sure.
shore?
Yeah.
Switch places?
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
No offense.
No, you're the stronger one. It's fine.
All right.
If I
So,
cannot call it, I will let's put the rope that is around my waist. I will give to you folks here on the boat,
Cool.
and then I'll
I'll
hand
hand
you.
you.
Yeah, and then thank you. And I'll take this, and I'll tug on this if I need help. Okay.
great.
Okay.
And you'll tug on this
If I
one
need
if you need
help.
help. Right? All right.
Exactly. It'll be lots of tugs if I need help.
Great.
Okay. Good. And same thing. Just pull me out. It's okay.
Okay.
Ward me if you can, but if there's no time, just wait. Okay.
Good luck.
Be quick.
And before you go, I'm going to cast Protection from Good and Evil on Duathi. That lasts 10 minutes. And you, until the spell ends, you're protected against aberrations, celestials, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead.
Oh my.
You also cannot be charmed, frightened, or possessed by them.
Oh.
And creatures have disadvantage on attack rolls against you.
Oh,
That is special.
that's amazing.
Following Icon's lead, I will place a hand on my chest and cast Mage Armor. For protection from being hit.
I'm going to quietly say a few more words under my breath in Druidic and put on the breathing apparatus and whoop.
All right. And now with the boat kind of docked, so to speak, on the shore, you are able to step off the side of the boat and the water comes up barely to your knees. Now, rather than diving in, you find yourself stepping and stepping as the water gets higher and higher and higher until it engulfs your face. And that same gentle rush of water against your ears, you feel the cold against your body. Looking about, you can see directly ahead of you, almost. You timed it very well. The crate is roughly 20 feet ahead of you, but it is a somewhat steep incline at points, making it 30 feet down.
All right. I'm going to go for it.
As you are taking these steps, you feel the current kind of pushing against you, but not hard enough that it would unseat you. As you step forward and forward, you eventually reach the crate. You can see now with this far into the water, the light is discoloring it, and you can see the metal, and it briefly shines against the sun. And it's in those moments of shimmering that you can see the color of the brass edging on this crate. A massive lock is stuck in the very center with handles on either side. It is elegant, but beneath the water here it is dark and slightly ominous.
I love that for me. Okay. I'm going to reach down towards the handles and give it a tug and see if I think I can pick it up.
As you grab it, you can feel your movement under the water is different. And as you tug, your whole body kind of shoves forward as well. As you pull, you end up pulling your body towards it. But it does lift slightly from the ground. So it appears as though you may be able to move it.
Okay. I'd like to look around and see if I dislodge anything. As I'm pulling it up, if it's stuck in anything particular or if it's just the ground.
Looking about, it looks like it was just the ground. It doesn't look as though it is dislodged. More so it has come to rest here.
Okay. Well, I'm going to take it with me then.
All right. Give me your choice. For this, I will say a strength check
Okay.
to be pulling it along with you.
Okay. Ooh, that is an 18.
All right.
18.
Not bad.
With that initial pull, you have a deep connection with nature. And though this is different to you and innately unnatural to you, it is still nature. And immediately you understand how it works as you ground yourself and pull. The box, though still heavy under the water, has a sense of buoyancy to it. And as it comes up, it almost floats ever so slightly before beginning to sink again. It seems to have something that is aiding it up, but you are able to pull it to the shore. As you pull, and step by step, you get closer and closer, the light getting brighter and brighter. Eventually the water crests over the crown of your head, and you are on the shoreline.
I'll meet you.
We have one. One more. But I don't. There's only one. They said there were two.
Right. Well, we get paid by the box.
If we go any further.
Yeah, I don't advise going further. That's just my gut reaction. I feel like we got one.
Did this
And sorry. I was just gonna say, unless we saw another one, like, in distance, I don't really want to go searching farther than this.
But it's probably also not far away.
Right.
Do you feel comfortable going back down?
I mean, sure, as comfortable as I feel being on the boat out here too. Is this on the boat, under the boat? Let's get this on the boat.
Andy, what will make you feel better about proceeding?
No, I mean, I just feel like if Duothy goes down there and doesn't see anything, like, she saw it from 100 or so feet away, and I don't know, I worry about going in further blindly, I guess.
Right.
So unless we have an inkling that maybe it's within a reasonable distance,
Well,
I feel like one is still something, you know?
Better than nothing.
Yeah.
one is better than none, for sure. But if the grain crate made it here, this crate made it here, I'd be surprised if they went much further.
No,
They hired us for a reason. We've demonstrated capabilities of going beyond what other people in Rivers Meet could do. I don't want to come back without both of them, to be honest.
I get it. I feel like all of us are feeling a sense of unease, and maybe we should listen to that.
It's really all of your unease that's making me feel uneasy. I don't know what's so weird besides your
Okay, well, we're all
anxiety.
making each other anxious, I guess.
I'd like to step off the boat and examine the chest. If it took less than 10 minutes to go down and come back up, detect magic is still
It
up.
did, yeah.
I'll pull it closer to dry land.
Yeah. I'll-
Let's at least check
Should
this
we
one
put
out
it on the
first before we decide. Any magic coming from?
As you take a look with Aiken pulling it now up onto essentially the beach, and looking at this crate, you see no magic emanating from it. Now out in the light, you can see that the wood of this box is very well polished and finished. The metal, though having been soaked, does not appear to have been tarnished in any way. It is, now that it is dripping, it is almost just as bright as it was. Give me a... How close are you checking this box
Oh,
out?
I'd like to get right up to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you're getting hands-on, give me an investigation check.
Absolutely. I'd be particularly interested in the lock.
Yeah.
Ooh. That's an 18.
18. You do see bits of stray plant that seems to have been caught in many of the edges of where the metal has been attached. And it looks like in small places, little parts of growth seem to have started, with this having been under the water apparently for a couple of days now.
All right.
The lock in particular seems very clean. No magic emanating from it. Is elegant. Doesn't appear incredibly complex.
I was
Right.
gonna say, do I get the inkling that I could maybe open this without anyone knowing that I opened it?
It's a possibility.
Okay.
Andy, are you thinking what I'm thinking?
I think I am.
I think
I am also thinking what you are thinking. I am thinking.
Great.
before we make any decision, perhaps we crack this open and see if it's worth going after a second one of these. If it's a weapon or something to be concerned of, well, it's probably better we didn't leave it out here.
Yeah.
If I understand the importance that Demarius was pressing upon us, should we come back with just one, they might send us back to find the second one,
Yes.
regardless of our opinions on whether or not it is dangerous.
Okay.
Maybe we can go look for the second one just a little bit further, and if we do not get any further, then we will tell them it was because we found 2 crates, and that if it is not very close, we can tell them no more crates.
Yeah.
Please, no
I
more.
I feel like we don't go much more than 100 feet
Marius
I
further.
agree.
also told us not to
Yeah.
die over this.
Yeah.
I question Are you able to make it look locked again? Or make it actually locked again?
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
You
Do I
are
get-
quite adept with your thieves'
Cool.
tools. Part of your training has been in maintenance of locks. Locks far more complex than this.
Cool.
So you imagine you could unlock and relock this, and unless something went horribly wrong, no one would know the difference.
Cool.
And worst case scenario, we could say that the crate was broken up on,
Yeah.
on impact.
Yeah.
We found it like this.
I am good at locks.
Great.
All right. Well then, Doodles.
Well, hold on.
Wait,
Someone
let's
else-
open it.
Someone needs to be
let's
on
look
the
first.
air machine. before we go down.
Okay. Let's get ready to go.
Maybe while they're unlocking,
Yeah.
we just keep an eye on the tree line.
I'm not particularly keen on opening this box on the boat.
No, we're on
No.
the
Okay,
shore.
Okay, just
Yeah.
just wanna-
Yeah.
We're
Sorry,
nowhere-
I guess that's
yeah.
above the table.
Yeah.
I want to make sure.
Also,
Yeah.
maybe
That
try
is.
looking for the boats and try opening
Same
this
feelings.
maybe where it's safer.
I feel like once we, where is safe. Once we get closer, I'd rather be where no one can see us.
Okay.
And
Well,
there's definitely no
guess.
one here, probably.
Yeah.
okay.
So I'll be quick.
All right. If you could give me a dexterity check with your proficiency
Okay.
as you use your thieves' tools to attempt to open up this crate.
Okay. All right. That is a 21.
21.
Come on, Andy.
As you bend down towards this box, you very quickly from your toolkit pull out the tiniest of long picks and what could almost be a little screwdriver. And as you kneel down, place them in, and you realize as soon as they're in, like, I remember building one of these from scratch. Click.
Cool.
And immediately it opens. And as the lock falls open,
All right.
Does anything else appear to be occurring at this simultaneous moment,
nothing
GM?
else seems to have happened.
Okay.
I will open it slowly.
As you open it, there is
Also, tell everybody to get back.
as you lift,
Step back.
there is a moment of resistance,
Okay.
and as you push, there's a
Yep.
Right.
and you lift, and the interior is perfectly dry. Inside, padded in a blue velvet cloth, are 6 bottles
Nope.
Oh, shit.
resting. They look very old. They are well encased. And though they seem to have been on a long journey down the river, they are intact. Looking about, you can see that the case itself is rimmed with a rubbery substance that has made this case airtight.
Does anyone recognize what these bottles are?
No.
Any
But
magic now?
I do have the tools to possibly figure out what is in them.
No
Maybe
magic.
We could read the bottle
Oh,
label.
shit.
Is there a label on
The labels are very old, very faded.
What color is the liquid?
Blue? Through these bottles, the bottles themselves have a the label appears to be an old parchment that has been put across it, and how many of you read Elven? All right.
I'm like, there are lots of elves here.
as you look down, you don't recognize the language whatsoever. The rest of you, you recognize its writing as Chimordian Ale.
On all of them? The same.
Each one,
Same.
Chimordian.
Is Chimordian a brand or a city or something I'd recognize?
Yeah,
Give me a
same.
history check.
Excellent.
How is that spelled?
Okay.
17.
17.
C-H-I?
K-A-I-M-U
K-A-I. Oh, Chimordian.
R-D-I-A-N.
Definitely wrote that
Some
wrong.
of this down.
I had a 15 on my history check.
Yeah, 17.
What was yours?
1. Not a natural one.
Right.
Cool.
For both of you, Chimordian. Something sticks in the back of your mind, like you think you recognize it. And the only thing that eats away at you is if you don't recognize it now, but you think you know it. It is old Jaldekian.
I don't know what either of those words mean.
It's a drink. Oh, supposedly. It's very old.
Oh, like the local, right?
Each of these bottles could very easily be more than our finder's fee, which now explains the finder's fee being so high.
Oh, you can read that.
I can. Yes.
Oh, that's exciting. Can you speak I'll speak Shavas. Can you speak Elvish too?
In Elvish, I'll reply yes.
That's
Cool.
Sorry, Andy.
It's okay.
Though
We can
No,
teach you.
it's fine.
Though the word Chimordian here, I have no recollection of this whatsoever. And my parents made it a particular specialty to educate me on throughout my years with them. So this is a word that I've no familiarity with. It is it's incredibly old, though.
Like, are we talking pre-Ashen Veil old, potentially? Or...
Potentially.
Right.
So, don't get me wrong. I am very glad that we now know what's in here.
But
Why send us out
yeah, for
to
ale.
beyond
Right.
for old ale?
Well, maybe this is it in case one.
No, the first thing that comes to mind is that whatever is in these bottles is not Chimordian ale.
That's
I
my
did
question.
think that.
Yeah.
We should
Although they
open.
seem mundane, unless these are lead-lined bottles,
Yeah.
which seems like a stretch.
I look at the bottles themselves and
Sure.
see if they look old. I've seen a lot of old things.
Absolutely. Give me an investigation check.
Oh boy.
Well, they're looking at the age.
Mhm.
I'd like to see if anywhere near the rim has been tampered with.
Absolutely. Also give me an investigation check.
That is a 6.
A 6. You have seen a lot of old...
Cool. We're smart.
Stick 6.
Everything over this this bottle Duathi gives the impression of it's old.
It is very old.
Shit's old.
It is dusty, but not in the fresh dust. More of dust has been caked on in some places, and it's just stuck there now. For you, looking at the tops of the bottle, you can see most of it is encased in a wax, but you can see where some of it has chipped away, and you can see the cork on the inside. Hard to tell if the chipping is... The tops of them seem completely intact, as the chipping has gone a little bit up to the edge.
So, it looks old. And I'm not really, sure that, maybe you could fake it looking old or something. But, it looks old, seems old, probably old.
Precisely, but without knowing exactly what's with the contents of these bottles, does the padding inside the blue velvet look newer in preparation, as if this case was a new construction for these items?
The case and the lining on the inside does look far newer. That this is made to present or to transport.
Okay.
Does it seem like maybe there could be something under them?
Possibly.
We should look.
Be careful not
Yeah.
to break any of the bottles.
I'm like, should we take the bottles out first?
Probably.
I just want to reach in and pick one up.
As you reach in, it is heavier than you would anticipate, and you're not sure if it's because of the contents or there's a weight of what it now could potentially be.
Can I
that is
give it a
added to
little shake? Does it seem completely full?
It does. As you shake it, there's a.
Okay.
If we are going to do this, we should protect the bottles. Does anybody have a needle?
Let me look. I'm going to say no, because I almost certainly don't.
I don't think I do.
The question, maybe. I hate to waste time trying to figure out
I know.
what could be or couldn't be underneath this here.
Yeah.
Maybe we close this back up, get it
Okay.
on the boat,
Okay.
search further. If it's not within 100 feet, we go back.
Go back.
But maybe
At
make a
least
pit
then.
stop
Okay.
after we're closer to safer
Okay.
ground.
Right.
Yeah.
I definitely would like to get a look inside before we return these. But I agree, time is wasting, and
Yeah.
if y'all are uncomfortable,
Well, and we're gonna lose daylight,
Yeah.
and I don't want to be out
Let's-
here at
Right.
No.
night.
Let's go.
It's always worse at night.
Yeah.
fine.
Okay.
Remember the spiders?
How could I forget?
So,
Pack it up.
Yeah.
Load it up.
Okay.
Downriver.
All right. I'm going to go back to the breathing apparatus. You all let me know when you're ready.
As Tuathi chomps on the apparatus, it steps once again into the water. Going in. Who's manning the pump?
well,
I guess I will.
As I'm going in, I will still give the second
Mhm.
rope
Right.
to Aiken. That way there's the stuff rope and the message rope.
And we're pushing off from shore, right? And continuing forward on the river?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I see no reason to change course.
Right.
is the when closing the case, does it automatically latch?
It
There's
does
a
not.
lock.
The lock, as it falls open. So in closing the case, you'd have to push the
But
lock
it looks
back
like we
up.
can.
Yeah.
It appears so, yeah.
Okay. I'd like to do that and lift that onto the boat
Yeah.
Okay.
before we set off.
Yeah.
Right, yes. I'll help.
And I'll walk the boat out and then hop into it.
And replacing the bottle or keep it?
Yes, no, of course.
Right.
The whole time we're proceeding on the second leg, I just want to keep in my eyes on the water for any dark moving shapes that might be swimming towards my submerged friend, as well as the immediate tree line, if I could.
Absolutely. At this point now, taking a step into the water, moving now as the boat begins to move, and for a brief moment goes offshore with you. And you step in line with it. You are now once again under the water. Would you mind giving me a perception check as you now walk towards the center of the river?
It'll be okay, Andy.
Only 15-ish feet.
That is a 21.
21.
Hell yeah,
The
druid.
number of the night.
Takes very little time as you move 10, 15, 20, 30 feet downriver. About 50 feet, which is not far, but more than enough to feel like it is too far. Duathi, you see a second case, much closer to the bank itself, but again about 100 feet away.
I'm going to how deep underwater am I?
About 15 feet.
Okay. I am going to just pop my head up above the water then. Just swim up back to the surface and pull it out. I thought it might be faster to just tell you there's another box about 100 feet ahead.
Wonderful.
Okay. So, wahoo!
You're doing great.
Give us a tug when we're there, and we'll pull the boat back to shore.
Well,
Swimming back down.
swim back down.
Slowly but surely. 20, 40, 60. For those of you who are above in the boat, not much time has passed. Your vision of magic still up, though very likely closer to the dregs.
Yeah.
It hasn't gotten darker. The sounds have not changed. You're not sure if the forest has gotten denser or if it just feels that way. But eventually you make it roughly 100 feet in. And it's almost as if the sound of the flowing of the water is also gone. You have to remind yourself that it's there, otherwise it just sounds silent. But Duathi, you find yourself walking up under the water to another identical case.
I'm going to hold onto the charm on my bracelet and hold it to my heart and then take both hands and see if I can pull it up.
Okay. Go ahead and give me that strength check.
Oh boy.
I know.
Oh, that is a 7.
7. As you pull, this one seems to be lodged into the ground, and you pull yourself into it and your feet come off, and for a moment the current begins to take you, but you've got a grip onto the case itself. You pull yourself back onto the floor of the river.
All right. I'm going to then try and tie the tightest knot that I know how to tie with the rope onto the handle, and keep a hold on the handle and try and steady my feet. And I'm going to tug twice on the rope till I can.
Okay. Hold the rudder, one of you.
I got it.
And then I'll just kind of put my feet braced against the side of the boat and start pulling up.
Can I get a strength check from you?
Yes.
I will. Let's go ahead. Actually, Duathi, give me another one. Rather than this being an aided because of how different it is right now,
Physics.
Duathi's result is going to affect your DC.
Okay.
That is a 14.
14. Okay.
That is a natural 20 for just a strength check.
Yeah.
22.
22. Yeah. Duathi, you holding onto the case, begin to pull, and as you begin to pull, suddenly the whole case, woof, and you with it begin to go, and as soon as it is dislodged once again, it becomes more buoyant. This one lasting slightly longer. You are pulled in until eventually your feet catch up, and you are just walking this case up, and you're in the boat, correct? Mm-hmm. As it comes closer and closer to the shore, it eventually becomes vertical, and at this point, the weight is more. And you see Duathi in the case coming closer to closer, as if you were fishing, and you caught a big one. As Duathi's head breaks the surface, you can reach down, you grab hold of the handle.
Yeah, I hold the handle, put my arm out to Duathi first, and just pull her out. And then I'll pull out the case.
As you do, pulling the case, the whole side of the boat begins to lean in towards the water, but you were able to pull it up onto the wood.
Okay. Let's see how fast Chauncey can go.
Yeah.
The other way.
Let's get out of here.
We'll investigate later.
All right.
There's oars in this boat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because we're gonna go against the current.
Mm-hmm.
Downstream. Wait.
Upstream,
Downriver,
south.
upstream.
Yeah.
Returning the way that you came.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Is there more than one
So-
oar I can help?
There are two oars, two sets of oars, and as you are setting the box and fiddling with the oars, you both sit down, and there's a collective moment of. Help!
No.
Oh shit.
Help!
No.
Where is this coming from?
Echoing through the wood.
No. No.
Does it sound?
No.
Does it sound humanoid or like an animal above board? Like elk sound like a screaming woman.
They do though.
They do.
Insight.
This makes me want to vomit.
Yeah, I literally
Insight. 12.
12. And what's everyone's passive perception?
Oh, boy.
14.
I'm good with that.
13 or 15, let me check.
16.
Perception?
Passive.
12.
12, 16,
13.
13.
13. And
My passive is 14.
14. You all hear it, and Icon, for you, it sounds human. You hear it again. Help! Clearly articulated and directional. And as you all look in the direction, you see up above the tree line smoke.
Okay. Campfire smoke or wildfire smoke?
It looks white.
Do I
So like chimney smoke?
do I have any familiarity with what burning would make white smoke?
Ooh. Give me a nature check.
Nature, okay.
Specifically, what burning wood makes white smoke.
This is an 11.
11. Nothing immediately comes to mind.
Okay.
Can I? So we directionally
Mhm.
above the tree line we can see the smoke. About how far away is that smoke?
Not too far. It is on the same shoreline that you are.
Oh yeah, I wish I had
Same
bones.
same shoreline as Chauncey.
Oh, this is why we need bones.
Well, the bones would help.
Yes, right now the bones would help.
Okay, here's where I'm coming from. We have two massive chests in this boat already. As much as I would like to say, if that is actually a person in trouble, that we should go help them. This is very important cargo, and we need to get out of here.
We have our objective. We have gotten what we came for. We have no idea what waits for us out there, or even if that's genuine call for help and not a trap.
I would like to use one use of my wild shape to hold on. How long does it take? Hold on. Oh, Hanna-Barbera. Hold on. I can do this. Give me one quick second.
Not familiar with that deity in Jow deck.
Okay, great.
The Great Barbara tribe.
Yes.
I will
Wild
use one
shape.
action.
Meet the wild shape.
I will use everything. Okay, good.
Yeah.
I will use one action to summon the same gray owl directly in front of me
Mm-hmm.
that I summoned the time before. And appearing above me, I'm going to have him appear on my arm, and then I will set him up into the air and have him fly towards the gray smoke.
All right. So specifically
Wow.
using it to summon
Wild companion.
a wild
Using
companion.
it to cast Find Familiar.
Find familiar. Gotcha.
So I'm going to then hold onto Icon's arm and say, Icon, I'm not going to be able to see for a second.
I've got you.
And then I'm going to close my eyes, and as they open, they are owl's eyes.
Whoa.
Can you tell Chauncey to slow down,
And I
but
will
not stop?
Yeah.
going to ask the owl to go see what is happening.
Okay.
I've almost got a death grip on you.
As this owl flies away, what are the rest of you doing?
I would like to ensure that both crates are secure on the boat. Wherever seems to be the safest. I don't know if there's a plank underneath the seat where I can set the rudder, but find the most secure place for them to live on the boat, so that there's no chance of them tipping over, going over the sidewalls.
Absolutely.
I'd like to just keep my eyes focused the direction the owl went, and I have my book at the ready, holding a firebolt for anything that might come through the tree line.
As the owl flies in from above, the trees are dense. But as it gets closer and closer to the smoke, you see a clearing. And within this clearing, a small pond and a small cottage. The smoke seems to be coming from the cottage, but it appears mostly destroyed. From here, it is difficult to see.
I'll have the owl go in further. Go as close as he can.
Dorothy, can you hear me? Oh, are you? You're deaf and blind. Okay.
As it flies in closer and closer, it lands in the living space of what was once a small home. You see rubble, and you see. Give me an investigation using. I think this is using
I have
your
to use the owl.
owls.
Hold on. Ooh. Damn. That's really good. Hold on. It's gonna be worse than mine. Yeah. Okay. Oh, great. Roll good.
Okay, that is an 11.
An 11. You see.
Oh wait, no, no, it's an investigation.
Yeah, it's not
Oh, wait.
no perception.
Wait, no.
No, no.
I'm waiting.
We're
No.
good.
Okay.
We're good.
If it was a perception check, it would have been great.
Yeah.
As the owl kind of hops around, looking about, some things that from these eyes you're not sure might be tools, might be it's old and strewn about, but the smoke is very easy to identify. You see what looks like a metal rack or holder of jars and bottles, and it is resting on its side. It seems to be able to hold 6 bottles.
Like a wine rack? Ish?
We're not sure. But one of them seems to have had its cork removed, and smoke is just billowing out of it constantly. It is resting on its side. You can look at the other 5. 4 of them seem to be potion bottles, opaque. One of them clear and has a liquid in it clearly, but it looks like water, but it is labeled.
Do I hear anybody else crying or calling? Do I hear the person anymore?
From here you don't.
All right, really quickly, I'm going to keep looking about. I cannot see you or hear you, so do not ask any questions. But there appears to be a house. It is broken. I do not see anybody, but what I do see is there's a rack of potions, and one of them is opened and smoking. I'm gonna look at a few of the others. Having a hard time. I'm an owl.
I'll squeeze your hand twice, kind of like as a okay. Does that sound familiar to any of you
No.
magic folk?
In the time that I lived briefly in Riversmeet, was there any like tall tales or legends told at the bar about people living in the woods down here to be scared of?
You know that people in particular to be scared of, not really. You know that from here, attempts at living farther have happened. That's no tales of, no specific tales of things with houses that go bump in the night.
Sure.
But things that go bump in the night, yes.
Not a clue.
I mean, my instinct is still to go back.
I'm
I
with
mean, the
Andy.
fact that Dorothy can hear whoever was calling,
Right.
and that there's magic smoke coming out of a bottle, that makes me think that maybe this is a magic voice luring us into danger, and I don't want to. I don't want to.
I don't want to leave these chests.
Yeah,
no.
I just feel like we already have a mission, and we should keep going with that.
I'm going to take a look at the bottle, and then I would like to continue to have the owl fly up and look for people. So first bottle, second look for people.
All right. Which bottle are you looking at?
The one with the label.
Looking about. What languages do you speak?
Oh. Let's remind myself. I speak. Oh, I forgot to write that other one down. Did I write it down in here? Because I remember we talked about it, and I wrote it down.
Let's
One
see
quick
here.
second here. I know. Druidic, Common, Elvish, and I believe we had me learn Sylvan.
Mm.
Yes, it was Sylvan that I learned. I just did not write it down.
You do not
Sounds-
recognize the language that the label is written in.
Oh, great. I do not know what do the letters look like in shape?
Angular.
It has angular sort of letters on it. The other bottle, I don't recognize them. I'm going to look for some more people really quickly, and
Double squeeze again.
fly up again high and take a look about.
Okay. Taking a look about. What is your passive perception
That's
as an
much
owl?
better. I have keen sight and hearing, and my passive perception is a 13. And I have advantage on checks that rely on hearing
Passive.
or sight. Passive 13.
Okay.
I'm just saying so you know.
Okay. So, fluttering about, and as the owl continues to fly, you hear now much sharper and louder. Help! It appears to be from farther in from where the house is.
Let's-
Not very far.
Let's go. This is why the owl. A mortal owl. Let's go.
I'm looking about. Give me a perception check.
Okay. Yay. Oh, that's a natural 20 for a 23.
For 23.
Nice.
I don't like it either.
As the owl flies through. Doesn't take very long before you see, looks like a large, muscular mastiff. And it's just, from this distance, it is on all fours, very short hair, very muscular across its back, and a short, stubby neck, and a long, thin tail. About medium-sized creature. Or, fairly large, actually. Seems to be walking along. You don't see anything else.
And I don't hear the calling anymore?
You haven't heard another call since the last one.
Did it seem to be coming from where this dog was?
Well, following the call has led you to here.
I'm going to dive down closer to the dog. I'm going to say out loud, I think I may have found something. Hold on. I've gotten closer. Give me just 2 seconds. And I'm going to have the owl fly down closer towards the dog.
How close are you getting?
Honestly, close enough to try and see what the dog is going to do. I have flyby, so I do not provoke opportunity attacks flying out of reach. So I'm not going to get close, I'm going to get ish.
Ish.
Ish. In a technical sense,
Yeah,
the
I was
ish.
going to say very technical term.
You feel a
Close it.
softer squeeze, kind of like.
I'm not in any danger. I'm an owl.
Mm-hmm.
Are you attempting to do so stealthily? Are you...
Nope.
Nope.
No, I would actively like the dog to see me.
As you fly towards it, it turns and looks at you, and you can see thick muscles along its jaw and shaggy hair. Aside from the short hair along its head, the long hair along its jawline, almost giving it a bearded appearance, and deep red eyes are now meeting the owl. As you fly closer and closer, it snarls at you. You can see now that its feet are cloven.
Oh, what? Oh, God.
Like hooves?
And it begins to drool as it snarls.
I'm going to fly back up into the air.
Okay.
So I cannot find, did it make any like people sounds as I flew
No.
by? I came to sort of where the sound was, and there's a very scary dog with like hooves for feet and red eyes, and I don't like it, not even a little bit. I'm very worried that there might be somebody in danger here, and from maybe the dog, but I cannot find them. So
That sounds like a personal problem to me.
Yeah.
I'm-
Look, I hate to leave someone in danger, but I also don't think we're in any position to try to help someone right now.
And I'm here to protect you all.
Yeah.
And we don't hear another call?
At this moment, no.
I'm going to have the owl continue. I'm going to, now that I've risen up from the dog, I'd like to continue to look above the area. I'm trying to look for a person.
Absolutely.
But we're still.
Have Chauncey move a little faster,
Yeah.
please.
I direct him to do so.
Alright, so
You're good on the oars and rudder?
Yeah.
And
Hold
I'm
steady.
still like locked in on Duafi.
I'm going to stay in the owl as long as I can. I think I get an hour with the owl. So
what sort of range do you have with this?
Yeah.
I don't think it's as far as I would like. I think it's only 100 feet. Hold on.
Oh, that's gonna change a lot.
Well, I figured we're about that far. I think I'm on the edge of it from what you were telling me.
Well, you would have figured incorrectly,
Okay.
but we will say for this,
Fair enough.
it is now 100 feet from the shoreline.
Fair enough. My apologies. Yeah. Yeah. I think this is about the range then. Not going to get
And as you are moving, you are unable to continue looking, as this was at the far edge.
In that case, what I'm going to do is it, and my eyes come back. We are leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to then direct the owl to continue to look through that area and try and find a person. And if they don't find one within the next 50 minutes, to come and find me.
Okay.
And if they do, also to come and find me.
Okay.
They can communicate with me within 100 feet, so as soon as they get within 100 feet of me, they would be able to tell me if they find a person.
Okay. So, as you all continue to work your way back up the river,
And now that you're back all.
now with your owl searching, slowly but surely you make your way. You hear another call. Help!
Oh, God.
And with that, we are going to take a break,
Mm.
ladies and gentlemen.
God.
We are going to take a 10-minute break. We will be right back. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you soon. welcome back, everyone. Hope that you enjoyed your break. I don't know if we enjoyed ours.
Scared, very scared.
It's like
Very on edge. Very
hitting the pause
uneasy.
button on anxiety. It doesn't go away. It just stays.
Yep.
I can't tell if it's the caffeine or.
All of the above.
So, now, heading back up the river towards River's Meet. It is hard going, now fighting against the flow of the river. What was before a much easier and relaxing trip, now combined with Chauncey pulling, someone at the rudder, and 2 people rowing, it is still tedious. It's not that you are fighting a strong current, it's that you are fighting a constant flow. Who are currently at the helm?
I'm rowing.
You're rowing.
We're rowing.
And who's at the?
Rudder.
And you're
I'll
at
take the
rudder?
rudder, yeah.
Okay. First bit of time. Slowly but surely, you make your way back to the tree line.
Does my owl come find me?
Has not returned.
Has it been an hour?
We're minutes in.
Ah, okay.
So we're at the tree line. Having marked where the singing or nature sounds stopped, does it return when we get closer?
As you get closer and closer, you now find yourselves pushing that tree line, making your way back out into the fields, leaving behind the voice, but now having 2 large bits of cargo on board. You keep pushing, and you keep pushing, actively listening for sounds of nature. It's still quiet.
Dungeon Master, the red eyes of that creature, did that seem familiar to me?
No.
No? Okay.
How are we doing with daylight?
Daylight, you seem to be doing all right. You're looking at the amount of time spent underwater now and the early travel. You're getting on to the later part of the day. It was getting darker in the tree line, but now with the open fields around you, the sun is still off in the distance. You maybe have another hour before night may fall.
And can we gauge how much longer until Rivers meet?
It was about a couple hours trip down,
Okay.
Oh, so
That
early.
is-
but
probably-
now fighting your way back.
Slower moving.
I could go try and help Chauncey, but I don't know how helpful that would actually be, or if it would be more helpful for me to be here and watching the river.
Just keep your noses down, everyone. Just keep at it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if the pit in my stomach is from potentially leaving an innocent person in danger, or my mind running wild on the possibilities of if that was not innocent.
I'm more worried about it being an innocent person. I know there are bad things here. So as much as that it would be unpleasant, I'm more worried about someone being hurt.
I understand where you're coming from. I don't know, maybe it's just my mind has convinced me that we did the right thing.
At this point, we're messengers.
Right.
Right.
Whoever that is, if it was a person, they've made their decision to live beyond. And we need to get safe. Home safe. Wherever home is right now.
Yeah.
Intellectually, I'm in full agreement, but I can't shake this feeling of guilt.
I don't know. I feel like the voice kept moving, is the thing. And that doesn't seem natural to me. The fact that Duothi's owl followed the voice and just found that creature and no voice making the sound. And then we went further down the shoreline and heard it again. I don't know. It makes me feel like it was a trap of some kind. I just don't trust it. And I know it's hard to feel like we left someone in trouble, but I don't feel like we did.
I hope you're right.
Dungeon Master,
Mm-hmm.
recalling each call,
Mm-hmm.
did the inflection ever change in the sense that it... trying to think of it in the sense of like, bird calls very rarely change. It sounds like the same every single time. Did it sound the same every single time, or
It did not.
Okay. I just row a little harder.
Matching pace.
Let's see how far we can get up to River's Meet. If we
Yeah.
need to make camp, we can make camp.
I really need bones.
I really want to know what's in these chests.
Yeah, that's...
We should
I mean,
find a place before we hit
yeah,
people to
that's
look at them more.
what I was thinking.
Let's maybe use camp as an excuse.
Sure.
That sounds great.
So, can you keep an eye out for a good place to camp on the shore?
Sure, I worry that it's going to be a little bit of a spiders everywhere sort of a situation, but let's see what we've got.
We spent one night by the water already. It wasn't so bad. Just
I
that
don't
wolf is
disagree.
scared away.
That wolf was just trying to see who we were. I'm going to look on the shoreline and try and keep an eye open for some place that might be good to camp.
Absolutely. Looking out at the shore, there's no particular spot that seems better than the other. It's all open fields. As you look out, you hear the soft tweeting of some birds in the distance.
Okay.
Hello, birds. You're so very pretty. Oh, I could go and kiss all of you on the boobs. Okay. There are birds again. And not just my bird, like an actual
Yeah.
bird.
No, it's
It's good.
it's very pleasant,
Oh,
much less eerie.
okay. Well, at the very least, there are birds. Of course, there were birds where there were spiders last time, too. That's how we knew there were spiders. But, you know. That looks like fields.
Well,
I like that spot.
I will tilt the rudder toward Dorothy where Dorothy is pointing.
As Dwathi seems to be pointing it, no specific spot in particular, just a spot in the field on the shore.
that looks perfect.
It looks like a field.
It looks here.
Does.
Brace yourselves.
And the boat just goes up onto the rocks with enough force that it seems pretty wedged in there, and if not, at least it is still anchored by Chauncey.
Right.
I'll hop out and kind of pull the boat a little bit further in.
Mhm.
I don't know if there's tides with this as big as this river is. And just walk towards there.
You have arrived.
Is Chauncey okay to just anchor?
I think so.
I'm going to go up to Chauncey and give him a little kiss on the top of his head.
With all the time in the sun, it is warm to the touch.
Oh, thank you, Chauncey. I appreciate you. And then I'm going to go somewhere in the grass and flop.
Shall we bring the box that we don't know out?
Let's bring them
Yeah,
both.
let's.
both.
Yeah,
I'll
take
give you a
them
hand.
both.
Okay.
Andy, you and I shall take the other one.
Sure.
All right. As you lift, the boxes are fairly hefty, but you bring them ashore. bring them far enough away from the water that there may be no worries, and rest them one next to the other. The one that you had found at first, though they look fairly identical, they are there.
Okay. Well, first I'm gonna go back to Chauncey, pat him on the head, say thank you for all your hard work today, but we'll just have you stay here, okay?
He looks up at you, and as he does, he looks down at the ground and puts his paws in and nuzzles side to side, using his drill to create a small little...
Get cozy.
Mhm.
All right. Let's open these up again.
Right.
Yes. Caution and precision, I think, is the best way to proceed.
Yes.
I'd like to take my cloak off and spread it on the ground and kind of fold it over itself to make a soft bed to put the bottles into.
Okay.
Why don't we start with the chest we've already cracked and
Okay.
look under the velvet?
Okay.
All right.
That's cocked.
And what are we rolling?
Oh, sorry, my tools.
Did you relock the one you already had, or is that
Oh,
one?
I thought we did.
No, I think we just.
Oh, did we just put
clasped
it?
it.
Oh, okay.
clasped it.
Yeah.
Just
Right.
kidding then.
It's all good. Prepared, though. I like it.
Yeah, you know. Just ready to roll.
And he's just already.
Yeah.
So taking the bottles out one at a time, resting them on the coat. Who wants to take a look at the
I'll
padding?
just kind of. Oh, the pattern?
The under the velvet.
Oh, yeah. I
Right.
wanted to see if there was any clear way to take the top
Sure.
off.
Go ahead and give me an investigation.
Okay. Now that's a 12.
12. Feeling around the edges, it seems as though this is very well built. They go right up to the edge, at least the velvet does. All across seems not quite stitched, but folded back over, creating a very perfect seam between the edge of the velvet and the wood of the interior of the box.
Okay.
Giving it a little bit of a tug. It doesn't give. But you do find one corner seems to be a little loose. And you're able to pull it up ever so slightly. Just seems that there's more and more padding beneath it.
Okay, but it doesn't seem like there's anything under there.
It doesn't appear so, no.
Okay. All right.
Tap it. And here, I will look up half of my flap because I'm very interested. And I'm going to come over and just sort of tap the side and see if it sounds
Yeah,
sort of
I was-
hollow.
Sure. As you tap the side, it's a very muffled tonk, tonk, tonk from the side.
I was sort of hoping there was something hidden underneath and it would
Yeah.
be like a hollow sound. And I
It
don't
seems
know.
not. The bottles, are they sealed? Like, in a way that if I broke it, it would be obvious.
They are all wax sealed.
Okay. Is it something that I could fix with mending?
Depending on how you went about it, maybe.
Okay.
These are worth way more.
I
than-
know. No, I was just thinking I have alchemists supplies.
Was asking for a needle earlier, thinking maybe we could pierce the
Oh.
cork and then perhaps there'd be residue on it that we
Yeah.
could then detect if it was magical, if these bottles
Do
are
I have-
lead lined.
Do I have any tools that are needle-like?
At the moment, you do not.
Okay.
However,
All right, I can make such things.
You can.
Yeah, so I have a thing. If after some rest tonight, I could have the proper tools by the morning.
Wow, they just come to you overnight.
Well, it takes a little work, but yeah.
That is quite handy.
No, it's Andy.
What? Yeah, of course it's handy.
Handy Andy.
Oh, I see. That seems very childish.
I thought it was funny though. Maybe we should look at the other box.
Yes, let's open the other one.
Also, you are 19. You should still think childish things are okay.
Are you calling me a
I-
child?
No, I'm
Okay.
saying it is okay to think things are funny.
I think it was a very funny joke.
Thank you, Andy.
I'm still thinking about the cries for help in the forest. I'm not
Okay.
in the
That's
laughing
fair. I'm
mood.
trying to distract myself.
That's fair too.
We all cope in different ways.
I'm sorry. Handy Andy is quite clever.
All right, so we'll put all
I
the
didn't mean to.
bottles. we'll put all the bottles back in the chest and close it. Put the lock on, but not fully
Latch it.
latch it, just for safekeeping. And then I'll use my tools to unlock the second one.
Okay. Go ahead and give me that check.
Okay, that is a 17.
17. This one, you are confident. It's the exact same lock as the first one. You reach down, put your tools in. You realize it's not.
Oh shit.
As you go to turn it, it clicks. But there's something more. And as you go, there's a second, and it opens.
That one was a little
mean.
harder. I made a look like one of these other ones, but this one was different.
My blood pressure's not going to survive this episode. Good God.
Look, I had every confidence that I could do it. So I'll
She
take.
barely blinked while cracking that open. I think it went fine.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll take the lock off and open it
As you open it,
carefully, telling
Carefully.
everyone to step back again.
there's that same resistance and the as the seal from inside the air comes out. And lifting it, you see 6 bottles.
Okay.
Same 6. The ale.
I knock on this one too.
And this one is a much more donk. Donk.
Okay. Let's take these bottles out and see. So we'll take them out, carefully lay them.
I'll take out my bedroll this time.
Yeah.
To make a nice squishy spot.
And I'm gonna see if there's somewhere I can try to open this.
Well, as you take them out, taking out the last of the 6 bottles, the base
Oh no.
lifts up ever so slightly.
Okay.
Oh, secrets.
Is there like a clear way to take it off then?
You could potentially use the indents from the bottles, but there is
Okay.
no clear handle.
Okay, I'm gonna
Open it
try.
here.
I'm gonna try to like hold on there and
As
lift.
you do, you lift, and it is heavy.
Okay.
And it lifts up, and beneath appears to be a false bottom. And inside, you see a metal-cased interior and a small wooden box resting in the very center. It appears to be surrounded by nothing but a small contraption that is holding it. Long, thin, protruding needles suspended in the air.
I don't want to touch that.
Don't touch that. Don't touch that.
Like, the box is like encased.
So a small wooden box with almost a gyroscope-like thing surrounding it, with long metal rods with almost needle-like tips that are holding it in position.
Like in the middle,
Yeah,
like
it's
not
a
sitting
dangerous
on
Pokeball.
something. Yeah, no. Yeah, I don't like this.
Aaron, you want to do that ritual now? Or shall I?
I can take care of it, sure.
Okay.
While this is happening, I just point of order. I've been patrolling about 30 feet away from everyone, kind of going back and forth, and I guess a semicircle.
Absolutely.
So, not really paying attention to what's going on over here.
Perhaps we both should. Maybe we'll spot something different.
Sure, yeah. Just give me this. The spell's still rudimentary to me, so it might take me a ways.
That's alright. It takes me a second too after my first one. Jesus, Ben.
There's a P in a building.
So as you sit 10 minutes for this,
Yeah.
for the both of you?
And
Yes, I think we'll both.
I'll cast light in one hand as I prepare the ritual,
All right.
just to give us a little bit more visual aid.
Almost as if the light does seem to be fading. As light has cast, you see that it does illuminate not just directly in front of you, but the area around you slightly. Dim light is coming. And as you are patrolling, looking off, you look back into the distance at the far tree line. You can still see it from here. Above it, you see a small shadow gently coming towards you.
All right. Dwathi, I think your friend's coming back.
Oh, my owl!
I hope it's.
Well, if it is not the owl, then we'll have a secondary problem.
I do want to turn my gaze from where the owl's flying right down to where perhaps where I would assume the tree line is. Almost expecting to see something, but not sure. Just kind of like
Staring off, it's peering into the woods to see what peers back.
Yeah.
You see the tree line.
Cool. Cool. And then I'll continue my patrol.
I will go sit crisscross applesauce by the bank and wait for the owl, hopefully.
And as these 10 minutes go by, just before you finish your ritual, the owl gets to you, flutters down, lands in front of you, and stares up at you.
Hello. What did you see? Could you show me?
The summoning of Find Familiar, do you just use that spell, or?
Pretty much exactly, so we can communicate telepathically.
Just hear a soft voice. You said, look for people. Look for a person. I found no such person. No such people.
Oh, good.
There was another dog.
What did it look like?
It looked like the first.
Was it crying?
As you were leaving, I heard a call for help. And then there was one dog.
What did it say, Dwathi?
I am confused, to be honest with you. It says that there were no people, but he heard the cry for help. There were two dogs, and after he heard the cry for help, there was only one dog. I don't understand. Did the dog disappear?
Lost track of it. I saw big footprints.
Well, what I'll say is, if there was, it is possible that there was a creature out there trying to fool us, but even if there was a person there, I do not think that we could have helped them.
Really is every man for himself out here, isn't it?
I mean, if you're that alone, best to go in groups.
That's why we're together.
Exactly. I'm
I
going-
tentatively kind of put my hand on Dorothy's shoulder.
Thanks, Andy.
I'm sorry. I know it's hard for you to know that someone was maybe in trouble, but
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, that confirms that maybe it was a trap, but
maybe. Either way, thank you, Owl, and I will give him a quick little floofle right there on his neck. Just a little floofle. I appreciate you.
At this point, you both finish your ritual, and immediately a wash of pure energy comes from the center of the box. The best school that you could tie this to would be evocation.
Does it look like the remnants of magic in that first chest we saw in Silas's basement?
Yes.
Ooh, snap.
I think we found our contraband, Andy.
Yeah. The question is, what do we do?
Is that a bad thing?
We don't know. Can only
It-
assume yes.
Seems like it might be similar to the thing that possibly made Silas explode, that had the note on it.
Or whatever the sample was, and more incoming is certainly this is the more incoming.
I
It-
mean, it's not. I don't know. It doesn't seem to be an automaton. However, it
Right.
seems to be something very powerful and dangerous.
Evocation magic, or something similar. What do I know about evocation magic?
You know, evocation is about summoning of elements, the creation of essentially energy, and tuning that energy to your purpose. Whenever you are casting your firebolt, you know that you are using evocation. Now, one thing that I will say is this isn't specifically evocation.
Right.
It is more of just pure magic.
Right.
But the closest thing you would
Reminiscent.
put it to would be evocation.
My best guess, automaton or not, is it's likely a weapon of some sort.
Yeah.
It could be highly dangerous.
Why would... I suppose... Well, I mean, I don't know, but it seems to me that there are two things that this could mean. One is that the Overseer is trying to get a weapon for some reason. I don't know why an Overseer would want a weapon, but I don't really understand what the Overseer does, so, you know, there's that. Or two, that someone is maybe trying to blow up the Overseer. But also,
Right.
I do not know why anyone would want to blow up an Overseer.
About how small is this box, GM? Are we talking about like 3x3 or like even smaller?
It's about a 2x2, so you're looking at it's almost like a large ring box.
Okay.
I feel like we're looking at like C4 or something.
What
Could
is
be.
Magical C4.
Does anybody happen to have a pearl? Relatively nice one?
No.
Well, that's too bad.
No, I have some simple jewelry, however, nothing as precious as that.
I've got bones now.
Right. There are ways to identify further information about this thing. I just don't have the proper components to do so. I see a couple options ahead of us. We could return this to the Overseer. It seems against our cause, I'll be honest. We could return it with just the bottles and no weapon.
I don't feel safe taking it out, is the thing.
Right.
Should we contact the people that you work for? Since that is, after all, the purpose of the thing you were supposed to be doing here.
We can see if your maester messages you again.
And we might have to wait for that. There's no telling. I don't have a way to reach them directly.
I could send a bird, but it sounds like it would take a very long time for my
Yeah.
bird to get there.
It might, yes. We could. They were willing to pay for just one chest, so we could return the one with just the bottles.
And say we lost this one.
Andy, the sound it made when we broke the seal. if we just close it, will it make that same sound again, or will these?
I believe so. It seems that it was just the sound of it being well sealed.
Right, can we seal them that well, or will they be able to tell that they've been tampered with because they're not vacuum sealed, airtight?
Do I get the impression that...
It's hard to tell.
Okay.
You aren't sure if it was something that was done as it was being shipped. You aren't, or if it was from being underwater.
When we opened the crate,
Mhm.
again, the first one that we had opened, did it make the same sound?
It did not.
Okay.
You know, I have a silly idea. Well, so, I don't really understand, obviously, how this works, but bear with me on this. You said it was sealed so the air would stay out of this box, right?
At least the water stayed out.
So, we've got a contraption that moves air.
You know, I was thinking the same thing.
We could try and, like, as we're closing it, like, put a little hose in there and go foo, 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 but, like, the other way and put the other end in.
Does the machine work in reverse? Is the first question that I have, Dorothy. Clever idea, yes.
No,
However,
put the back end in, not the
Right.
end that the air is going into. The one that is pulling the air to the mouth side.
What do you think, Andy? Is that something you could rig together?
Very handy.
Handy Andy.
All right. You
been-
know,
Been avoiding that for 8 episodes.
here we are. Let me look into it. How do I look into such things?
This will be a investigation check,
Okay.
and if you're using your any sort of tools to fiddle with it,
Tinkerers?
I think that would be perfect.
Cool.
Um,
I also have Smith's tools if I need to.
very likely with the fiddling with contraptions,
Right.
you're going to be going with your tinkerers.
Yeah.
Using your tinkerer's tools to investigate as to whether or not you could re-rig this thing to do this. We'll let you do this at advantage.
Cool.
All right.
Okay. And then it's an investigation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Great. That is a 23.
23. Using your tinkerer's tools, you are able to remove one of the vents on the back, with the area that is sucking in the air, and it looks as though you'd have to maybe use some finagling, but with the things that you have on hand, you could probably create a seal and use the tube to suck air out.
Cool. So, yeah, I can.
Wonderful. All right,
That was
so
very smart, Dorothy. Thank you.
No worries. I spent a lot of time reading in it.
You
We
had
can,
a lot of time to think.
we can put it back and make it appear that we haven't tampered.
You could
Could
also
do
With
that
the
on.
first one, and then we keep this one. How do we hide it? Do we hide it somewhere?
What if we break it? Wait, no, because you don't want to take that thing out of its
No,
container,
I'm
right?
worried about it
That's
moving
fair
at all.
enough.
Seems unwise.
I was just thinking we could take and break the box and then be like, oops, it broke. Only the
Yeah.
bottles. Congratulations on your bottles.
I
Well-
was thinking that as well. If we could find a way to transport this, we could. I mean, Marius did say intact or not for the reward, although I'm not sure 50 gold is worth the risk.
No.
Yeah, it is a lot, but.
Well, I guess let's see if your maester contacts you in the morning, and then we can go from there
Yeah.
when it comes to a plan of what to do with the second one.
I don't feel like we need that needle anymore,
Nope.
Andy.
No, I'll focus more on kind of gearing this air machine. And then it seems like I could switch it back. Yeah, I would know how to switch it back to give it cool. I'm smart.
The more you're fiddling with this, the more in
Like,
the back
this
of your
is
mind, like, I
easy.
got this.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm gonna focus on this. Let's put the. If you guys don't mind putting the false bottom back in and all the bottles and close it, and you don't have to lock it. And then
Sorry, and this device is not in there. This is me asking for clarity. We're keeping this out of the boxes.
No,
we reset these,
we
or
are-
put it back.
We're leaving it. We're not touching
We
it.
Okay,
didn't
okay, cool. Just want to make
touch
sure.
it.
Right,
Yeah,
let's-
it seems to, from what we possibly witnessed, I don't, and it's being held so delicately
Yeah.
by
Okay, just making sure.
needles.
Just making sure.
Yeah, I'd just rather close it back up, keep it safe. I'll suck the air out of both just to be safe in case that is something, and we'll go from there.
Now, to clarify, this you're working
Yeah.
on this thing is
Yeah.
going to take a little bit of time.
Yeah, no, that I figured.
I would like to start making a camp and maybe a little fire.
Absolutely.
And
As
having a
you
setup.
pull your attention away from this box, you realize, it has begun to get dark. The light being now from the light spell, but aside from that, as your vision has gone about, it is not pitch black, but close.
Assuming it took longer than 10 minutes to open the box, look at it, repack the box, seal it again, I'd like to be casting Detect Magic again as a ritual. I'm mostly curious if, when the box is sealed, can we still see the magic through?
Absolutely. So it is very likely that Andy is going to be working on this machine for far more than 10 minutes.
Yes.
So at this point, Duathi making camp. I'm still keeping an eye about. Were you focused in on the box at all, or so you very much have been keeping an eye on you realizing that the light is fading?
Completely unfazed that the light is fading.
Mhm.
Just kind of letting it wash over me and kind of lost in thought, but trying to keep focused on outside dangers.
Nothing seems to have
Yeah.
come from the tree line, and now in the dark, still nothing.
Yeah.
Andy, why don't you give me a intelligence check with proficiency as you are using your ooh. I'm assuming you're proficient with Tinker's tools.
I believe, yeah. Yeah.
Perfect.
It's in my tool and language proficiency.
Excellent. Go ahead and give me just an intelligence check with your proficiency to see as you are working on reconfiguring this device as camp is being made and Andy working on it. Is there anything within this time that either of you would
Well,
like to-
I didn't need to wait for Andy to air seal it. I'm mostly curious if the box might be lined with something that would prevent my
Absolutely.
Detect
So-
Magic. So I'll do this while Andy's working.
Perfect. So looking at this, and you can do this before the 10 minutes fades, you close the lid, and as you do, you are unable to see any of the magic emanating from the box.
And would I be aware of spells like Locate Object and how they work? I don't have it yet, but is that something I might have heard of?
Absolutely. You would be familiar through your studies of many spells like this, and particularly in your training.
Right.
Yes, you would be familiar with Locate Object.
Well, good news. I think that the reason why they couldn't locate this, even with a powerful spellcaster presumably at their disposal, is the box is aligned with something. If we were to stash it somewhere, I think it might be safe.
Yeah. Yeah, we can come up with a plan in the morning, maybe, of where we can hide it.
Can you make it a different color like you did with the back with my cape when you made it orange?
I could make At least one surface of it is different color. It only lasts an hour. I don't know if you noticed. Your cape
No,
is
I
not
noticed
orange.
it is not orange anymore, but I
Right.
was kind of hoping that was just because, you know, it's. I don't know. I was just kind of hoping it would maybe work longer if you wanted it to. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't have more permanent
Oh,
ways, but I think
okay.
we could get crafty and make a good hiding spot, or dig, or put it back on the bottom of the river. Another option.
Good. I feel like if it's closer and in the water, though, that they might search for it and find it. I don't know.
I think they've given up, so that's an
Maybe.
option. I'm not saying it's the best
Yeah.
option.
You could make my cloak orange and then put my cloak on top of it.
For an hour,
Again,
yes.
it would only last an hour.
Yes, but then my cloak would be on top.
Orange is a high visibility color, I feel like. It might not be the best camouflage. Maybe a
But
brown
then
or
I
a
just think
green.
It was like, you know, a special cloak delivery.
I think the natural brown might be a better option, and it will last longer than an hour, I think.
I would like to know more about special cloak deliveries. And
Yeah. Is that a history check?
is
or-
that
I don't know anything about cloaks.
okay?
So.
I like it though. I rolled an 11, by the way. Not my best.
As you
roll.
were fiddling away with this, the conversation on cloak
I
delivery,
got
it's distracting.
distracted. Really thinking about special cloak delivery.
And you realize you'll probably need to work on it a little bit longer.
Okay.
But you got some headway on it, and you
Great.
have come up with 2 different ways of how not to do it.
Cool.
But you are still very confident that you can get this done.
Great.
Over that time, camp is made. Finn, can I get a
Yes.
wisdom saving throw from you, please?
Why do I keep making these? All right.
How is that going to help?
I make my cloak orange. That's a natural 20.
Yes!
Or a 22.
22.
Yes.
Okay.
Phew.
I kind of want to fail one of these.
You just go.
I don't know what's happening, but it makes me so anxious.
The evening is upon you as you begin to settle down,
Is it just you?
I don't
eat your
know.
food, lay out your bedrolls.
Still.
With this much time going on, go ahead and give me another one. This time, I'll have it be your choice. It can either be an intelligence with your proficiency or a dexterity with your proficiency.
Intelligence,
All right.
please. A little bit better. That.
Oh, and this is still... Oh, wait, no. Never mind.
Okay. That is 14.
14? Okay. With the progress that you had made previously, or the learning that you
Slowly.
had done previously,
Very distracted.
by the time most meals have been had, you think you've got it.
Cool. I think I did it.
Yeah, you did it.
Oh my gosh, I want to see it work.
All right. I'll try it on the one that doesn't have the false bottom first,
Sure.
and then we'll close it and open it back up and see if it makes that sound,
All right.
just to test it.
So, Andy, taking now... The base itself looks fairly unchanged, only in that the tube now does not come out from the bottom, but is affixed to one of the 2 vents on the top. The breathing apparatus has been entirely removed and replaced with one of the small tubes, of the 2 tubes that are within the device, having been extruded out slightly. You know, fix this in and close the lid on top of it, not fully. And you begin pumping. And as it goes, you feel the lid sink lower and lower
Cool.
and lower Eventually, you give it one more quick spin as you pull it out, and you hear
Pulled the air out.
Okay, just for. Does it have like a latch before you put the lock on?
it appears as though the lock is the latch.
Is the latch.
Like a
Okay.
suitcase style.
I was like, just to be fancy. But no, okay. So I'll open it back up and see if it makes that sound.
And there's a bit of a resistance, and
Andy, you are so smart.
Look, you helped.
Yeah, but
Duathy.
I could not ever do that thing.
You're the idea woman, and I appreciate that.
That's me.
Do you think Amaris would be more mad that we broke his thing, or would he be excited
Oh,
that
I'm
we
gonna
brought him a vacuum seal? You can put it back.
Yeah,
Oh, good.
he'll
Good.
have no idea that I did this.
Perfect. We don't want any evidence.
No, absolutely not. So cool. I'll do it again. Again, the one without a false bottom, and then close and lock it.
it's all set.
We don't have to worry about that one.
Right.
And then I guess the question is, do we want to do it on this other one?
Maybe just for safety because they felt the need to do it. Maybe
Okay.
it's not a bad
In
idea.
case, yeah. Okay, I'll do it
Yeah.
on the second one.
If it is lined in something, it's best that it's airtight.
Yeah.
I'm still nervous.
As this entire experiment has been conducted, Aaron, I've been weighing the paths laid out before us in my mind, analyzing the decision trees that come from each path. And that finally, as the first chest is sealed again, I'll speak up and I go, I have an inkling.
What's that?
The only thing we know about this particular small box is that it's incredibly dangerous.
Right.
I don't want it to go back to River's Meat.
I know.
Don't think it should.
Andy,
Yeah.
would you launch that small thing into the river?
Would I
Let it go! Send it as far down wherever the current wants to take it.
I don't think that's wise, Aaron.
No one could touch it. We could use our combined magical means of lifting things. It seems small enough. Chuck it into the river. No one else has to suffer from whatever's beneath these bottles.
We don't know what will happen to it. Out of its container, out in the wild, we can't leave a weapon. It's not part of our code.
I don't want the Overseer to have it either.
Well, then let's
No.
not give it to him. But we shouldn't just let go of it.
I think,
This is important evidence.
as much as I agree with you, and no one should have this power, whatever it is, but I feel like we at least have a responsibility to give it to the Order so they can handle it. But
So how do you suppose we navigate presenting one box and dissuading them from searching out the second?
we're gonna hide it. And if they can't find it with magic because they can't detect the magic that's inside, but I don't know. Let's. I fully understand your concern, Erin, and I want to do the same thing and eliminate it completely from ever being used by anyone.
Leaving this out of our hands would not only be a dereliction of our duties, it'd be incredibly reckless. I don't want it in my possession as much as
Yeah.
you, Aaron, but we can't let it go. This is what we're looking for.
Yeah.
This is why you called us here. We can't put it back out in the world. We have it.
But
I
know that we're not gonna let the overseer have it.
Agreed.
It's not going back to Marius.
Okay. I'm comfortable with at least that position.
Yeah.
What do you two think of this?
Patrol.
Sure, sure. Okay.
Um,
Then Dorothy, if you're nearby.
I suppose I would have come back over after setting up the campfire. Will the people that you work for, will they make sure that whatever it is not used to hurt people?
I believe so. They don't. They.
I can't speak for the order, but
That's true.
I can speak for the lawkeepers, and they take their work very seriously. They will study this thing. They will determine what it is, what its use is, what the danger is.
I think most of all, their purpose, and I guess in turn our purpose, is to make sure that new technologies like this, like these sorts of things, new things that people are making, like that could be dangerous, are eliminated. So I feel like they'd maybe study it, but not replicate it, because that's not what they do. They protect
Preserve.
and preserve old technology and control new things like this from being made.
Okay. Well then, especially since we do not know who wanted this item or who made it, if it is the overseer, somebody tried to hurt the overseer for some reason, it is probably not a good idea to immediately turn it in, but maybe, I agree, hide it somewhere where only we can find it,
Yeah.
and then try and figure out who wanted this item,
Yeah.
because that's going to tell us who we can trust.
Yeah. I feel like we hide it and give ourselves time to think about what we want to do.
Yeah.
And whatever it is, it seems safest in this chest, locked up
I also
For
know
now.
that
for now.
this is a thing that I'm helping you with, and ultimately I will do what you say as long as no one gets hurt.
No, none of us want that.
Okay.
Okay. So we are hiding this from the overseer,
Yeah.
I think so.
presenting it to the order for analysis.
Let's be clear. Not the order. The lawkeepers, the conservators.
Yes.
Those are the people I trust.
Yeah.
Sure, sure.
Why? Why not everyone?
Well, those are the people that we know directly,
Okay.
at least. And we trust them.
And
Again, we don't really know the order. Technically, we're...
Well, I know the order somewhat, and I know I don't fit within it.
Yeah.
So,
But
You're quiet, Aaron. How do you feel about it?
Part of me wishes that Riversmeet stayed a quiet, sleepy town out here on the outskirts of civilization. But they can't do that. And I look down this river and I see the power that it holds, all this moving water. And in some ways I want to be as powerful as it is in this moment. I want to ensure that the decisions that we make here now carry the proper weight with them.
yeah.
The entire time that we've been involved in this entire mess, all I've wanted to do is just ensure that decisions made are the ones that we are confident in. No questions, no regrets, no doubts. I'm old enough for that.
And do you trust the people that Andy and Finn work for? And
If
do
they
you
do,
trust
then
this
I do,
order?
yes. I don't know much about the tinkering or the weave of the magic around us, but I do know that we can trust them. We can trust those who have laid the groundwork and the foundation for civilization to return to its means after hundreds of years of suffering. And if those involved in whatever this device's creation are doing so with such secrecy and with such lethality that someone would have presumably died, or made to look as if it was dangerous enough to send Silas somewhere else. And that's too much trouble for this town to deal with.
That's certainly true.
Yeah.
Real quick, I would love to roll an insight check on Aaron again. He did not answer my question.
Okay.
And I want to wait for you to tell me what to do because I messed this up last time.
Give me an insight check.
Okay.
And
It's a natural 1.
for a total of
4.
It is a 15.
correct, he did not answer your question. Is there anything else that you would like to add to that? Out of character, but as an answer to the insight check.
Aaron is being 100% forthright in this entire moment. A lot of this is going above my head, and I'm feeling, for the first time in a long time, overwhelmed by the scenario that I found myself in. I know a lot about Melos Machina. I know a lot about where we came from. What scares me most about is where we are headed.
Aaron, I agree wholeheartedly with your statement and your sentiment. I'll accept one point. The river is indeed a powerful force of nature. But there's one thing you're already better than it at. It follows the path of least resistance. There's no changing that. It cannot do the difficult thing and go uphill. I think you can. I think we all can. This is not the easy thing. We are about to take a step that could make some very powerful enemies. But I think it's the right thing to do. And I think that makes us powerful. That choice.
Thank you for that, Finn. That was incredibly reassuring.
Look, you have your secrets, and we have ours. But you've given us no reason not to trust you, and I do believe we are on the same course, even if it is not downhill.
And how I see it is we return both of these chests to how we found them. We hide the one that is dangerous and give ourselves time to figure out what we want to do instead of making any sort of rash decisions.
Yes.
We've had a very stressful day, and I feel like giving ourselves time to settle into a decision is probably the safest thing that we can do in this moment.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, what Finn said was a lot, I don't know, prettier than what I did, but
Yours was more pragmatic, Andy. There's no contest here.
I don't know, that's just how I feel. It's too big of a thing to think about how we fully proceed right now.
And the good news is, we don't have to go anywhere tonight.
Yeah.
No.
We've already made our decision for now.
Yeah.
Make camp, wait for light, see where we go from here.
All right then. Anybody have any sausage links in their pack for an after-dinner snack?
I do have a fancy meat.
Fancy
Oh,
meat.
yeah.
I can come over. Fancy meat.
There's
Be right there, Duathi.
a moment when you hear Duathi and it shocks you back in
Yeah.
as you've just been staring at the trees this entire time.
Yeah.
And though everyone else is hearing the sound of the birds, it's as if you have gone into your own owl and are deafened and blinded by the trees themselves until Duathi's voice shakes you from it.
Hearing that, I'll kind of nod. And I'd like to use my spear a little bit as a spade, dig a small, very small hole, and take some of the seeds out of my pack, kneel down, and just start sowing them into that hole. And as I'm covering it, glancing up at the trees, back down, up, down, and just say, I don't know what path you've put me on. But I've sworn to protect these, and that's when things changed. And I'll keep protecting them. But I really wish I knew what was gonna happen. And I'll just put one last scoop of dirt, pat it down, and walk back to camp. And partake in some fancy meat.
Fancy meat! Before I get to the fancy meat, I'm gonna take care of the second chest and look it up and just...
As you fiddle with the lock, you've pump, and it seals. When you go to close the second lock, you feel the first time, or as opposed to the first lock, a brief moment of resistance as it clicks. And then
Right,
clicks a second time.
because there were the 2 clicks that time. Cool.
Yeah,
and
that was
then
still stressful.
I'm going to...
Reverse trap.
Can I... is there a way to scratch this one in a... Well, no. I'm going to make some sort of mark on it so I know I can differentiate the
Absolutely.
chests
I can,
from each other.
It's simple enough with one of your tools to just
Yeah.
scratch into the wood
Just-
ever so slightly.
cool.
Though the rest of the wood again, looks fairly well maintained. There are some scratches here, so an additional one that is distinguishable by you but looks simple should be fine.
Okay, great. I almost was like, something I can fix, but then I was like, this isn't going to anyone, so it doesn't matter. Okay, cool. And then I'll go with everyone and the fancy meat, and I'll fix the air machine in the morning.
All right.
I'll take the fancy meat that the butcher gave me. Fancy meat.
Charcuterie board.
That was a Wagyu steak, man. That's what I'm picturing.
Seriously.
We eating good tonight.
Yeah.
Pretty much
Some
yes.
Korean barbecue.
I
Yeah.
figure I should share. It is a big chunk of meat. I do not need this much meat.
All right. So cooking up the steak. Go ahead and is there anything in particular that you would like to do with this?
Oh, I thought it was sort of aged.
It is.
Didn't
Are
require
you wanting
any
to
work.
cook it, or do you want to?
Does it need to be cooked?
Though it is aged, probably be a good idea to cook it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I
I'm
thought
the
it
wrong,
was
wrong
dried.
human to actually
Yeah.
ask me this question. Sure.
True.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd like to cook it.
All right. Go ahead and give me that survival check.
You
As
betcha.
Duathi, initially unsure as to the cooking of the meat.
That's really,
it's-
that's really, I mean, that's what Shirley.
Yeah.
All right.
That is going to be a 15.
15. You are used to cooking in an open fire like this. Though you are not used to cooking this meat, you do a pretty good job. And as you serve it up, and each of you enjoy a small slice of this open-aged piece of meat from the butcher, from the far generous payment for your bones. It's delicious.
Yeah. Good
It's
steak.
tender in the center, and as you bite in, the little bits of juice come out. It puts the trail food that you have been eating to shame.
He was very nice. All
Yeah.
right.
As the evening progresses and watches to be made.
We should probably do that. Well, I only need a little bit of rest, so I don't care when it is.
I could definitely use some sleep, but my mind is restless. I need to get some writing done, I think.
All right.
So I can take a first watch, or watch with somebody.
I'll take the first couple.
I like sleep.
I'll take the second one then.
And third here.
Okay.
All right.
I'll take second and third. I realize it's fine.
And
And
you better sleep soundly tonight, like a baby. You've earned it.
Thank you.
You've certainly given me somebody to care about.
That's very sweet. Sorry.
Sorry.
That's very kind. Thank you, Finn.
Thank you.
It's nice to feel cared about.
I can safely say the same. For the first time in a long time.
I'm going to get my blanket out.
As you cuddle up, with the taste still in your mouth, full bellies, and dread fading. First watch, you look and you see the glowing of Chauncey's eyes. A nice contrasting and calming blue to the thought of the description of the red. That is where we are going to end tonight's episode. We will be back again next week, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, you were right. Sorry.
Yeah.
That is the last week of the month. So we will be back next month.
2 weeks.
Yeah. Same time, 7 p.m. on Wednesday. Hope that you have a fantastic rest of your time until then. We look forward to seeing you. And we'll see you then. Bye, everyone.